different aspects of it, but this is So we're going to just do Zhan Zhuang. We're going to do all 5 positions. And to just remind you of a couple of things, the first thing is that when we start, position 1 is simply hanging everything and dangling and releasing and letting go. This is what you'd call the Wuji position. Some people translate that as no action. It's a neutral position where the body is perfectly balanced, but there's nothing taking place within it other than the organs working in their own time. So that's position 1. Now then, you're then going to, before we do it, let me just explain. So you're then going to lift the hands up and you're going to bend your knees. Now, if you remember what we talked about, they're going to here. What we talked about before is the lift needs to come here. This needs to be involved on the back. So this is all the same stuff I've been talking about in the last 20 minutes. Yeah, this has to come here. This must be involved on your back. And then again, when we lift up to this position, again, it's got to be involved on your back. So when we lift up to here, this bit of my back, roughly speaking, where my hands are pointing, is involved. When I lift up here higher, that point is going to settle down a bit lower, perhaps to under the rib cage. That sort of point. So I'm very conscious of using that area of my back to actually make the hands lift. So although the hands are doing a lot of work and lifting, it feels like my back is doing the equivalent amount of work down there as well. You don't have to tense anything. You would just feel as if that's the fulcrum for the crane to lift up here. As if this is the engine on the back, right? Okay, the engine's really here, but so off we go. So we're stepped out already, nice shoulder width apart, and we're not going to spend ages on this. Sink your shoulders. Oh, let's just do the shoulder alignment thing. Lift your shoulders, pull them backwards, and now settle them so that the outside edge of your shoulder is aligned with the outside edge of your leg. Yeah, do that a couple of times. Lift, pull back, lower, and settle. Okay, so you make that connection. We stay there. You feel your weight on your soles of your feet. Your arms are dropping. Occasionally, I'll do a different version of this starting position. Let me just get my feet level. Okay. So you feel your weight on the soles of your feet. You feel your pelvis just dropping. Very important to let go here on the small of your back. Just let it drop. Okay, let your shoulder blades slide down your back. Let your shoulders sink into your hips on that line there and then down into your feet. Relax the back of your neck. Be aware of the fact that the crown is above the perineum, but it's between and the point between the feet. That's an absolutely dead straight line. Okay, so that's position 1. There's all sorts of other bits and pieces we can add into that, but for the moment, just leave it there. Okay, so moving into position 2, you engage here first. This is a feeling of not exactly tensing, but you're starting the engine here below your tummy button inside you, and you start to roll it. So you're lifting the pubic bone up. Now, as you do that, I'm engaging my back very slightly, just enough to let the arms lift, and I'm also now letting my knees bend because I've engaged my pelvis. And we're in position 2. Now, you know how we began with the fingers lengthening, or not quite at the beginning, but the fingers lengthening and the wrists opening and the elbows opening and the shoulders opening. Do the same here. Now, don't push the shoulders forward. Just feel that the joint is actually opening sideways. Check your neck. Make sure you're not tensing it. So you've pulled up very gently here, and your bottom should feel very relaxed. The muscles, the glutes here, if you press them, they shouldn't be very hard. Yeah, so you actually need to let it go very soft on your bum. Because if it doesn't, it means you haven't really let go of your lumbar spine. Because when you really let go of here on your back, this area just above the pelvis, actually needs to do that and undo. Not to that extent, obviously, but it has the feeling of the spine undoing and lengthening. And when that happens, your pelvis will naturally just want to tuck under and go forwards towards your screen slightly, as if your tip of your tailbone here, your tail, is actually, like a monkey's tail flipping through towards your screen. So you try and slap the screen with your tail, but that means that you're going to be using quite a lot of effort to do that. And the idea here is to release and do that. So yes, there is a pull up here, but don't overdo it. Don't make it too hard. We're now going to lift the hands to position 3. The first thing you need to do is feel your back. Okay, so at the moment you're roughly speaking between your shoulder blades. You're now going to start using your spine and pushing downwards with the spine. That's not a good explanation. You engage the spine at the back, so you start to engage it from lower, and you can now be up here. Now you can see I've got my hands above my eyes. You don't have to have them that high. It's harder up here. You could have them level with the eyes, yeah, like your pair of binoculars. I actually quite like it up here. Okay, so I have to release my neck. I'm still doing the lengthening fingers idea and the lengthening wrists and elbows and shoulders. I feel like those joints are undoing. If I want, I can use the breathing at this point, and actually as I breathe in, I can feel like everything's opening and everything's just hanging on the out breath. I'm not particularly trying to contract anything here. Okay, so we move into position 4. So all you're now going to do is push your hands to left and right, or sort of diagonally forward slightly. Push them out forwards and diagonally. I'm very conscious of my elbows settling down now, the armpits closing, but not too much. It's the elbows leading my hands down. You can see my fingers are still slightly lifted. And then when I get to the forearms being a little bit less than parallel, I now flatten the hands out. So if I go side onto you for a second, you'll see that my hands are not left and right of me exactly. They're slightly forwards. It's like I'm resting on a couple of aerobics balls here, very large ones admittedly, but I'm resting my hands there. Now we will at some point look at getting the hands from up above there down to this position because there's a little bit more to it, but it's ample for the moment. So again, I'm still lifted up here. Pelvis, this is all relaxed here at the back. Should be all soft. It's worth actually prodding your own bum, by the way, just to see, because you might think it is, but it may not be. And then finally, position 5, virtually hardly moving the arms at all, but now the fingertips, let them go. Let the fingertips straighten out with the arms, and now let the whole thing curl in. You see the elbows are really not moving very much, and I'm back into here. I'm about 45 degrees away with the arms. Yeah, you can see there about 45 roughly. Okay, this will be 90, there's 45. Yeah. Again, I've got this is a nice easy position to actually try relaxing your fingertips, let the joints open in your hands, bones in your palms, use the breathing if you like, bones opening, etc. Joints are opening in the wrists. And then you just lower your hands very slowly, straighten your legs, put the weight on one foot, backs of your hands on your kidneys, and just circle. I'm not sure I can do this foot, but just about. Just do circles. Yeah. And there we are. That's the Zhan Zhuang. So exercise that's definitely worth practicing, as I keep saying to you. If you can practice it, just watch TV, something. Do it every day a little bit if you're able to. It really does boost your energy levels a lot. It's a fantastic exercise for that. And the more we look at it and the more we look at opening joints, you'll see that there's a lot of potential in this, and it will also tie in well, it'll tie in with everything, but it particularly tie in with when we do the breathing. We're sitting down in a while and doing breathing. It'll play a role in that as well.